ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to another episode of the CD Racoola Show. Today's episode we will be howling at the moon as we review the 1981 film An American Werewolf in London. This film has definitely survived the tests of time, and to this day is one of my favorite werewolf films of all time. Before we sink our canines into this film, let's discuss this whole werewolf versus vampire dynamic, shall we? People have actually told me that I shouldn't discuss werewolves because they are sworn enemies of the vampire. Sorry, but that simply isn't true. I think the underworld films have something to do with this perception. I personally am just not seeing it. I stated in an earlier episode that many of us vampies keep werewolves or lycans as pets, similar to you humans and your golden retrievers or whatever. I personally think of having a werewolf as a pet. Can you imagine a werewolf taking a nightmarishly huge duty on my 300-year-old collection of Persian rugs? No thanks, not for me. These beautiful hands were not made for cleaning up dog pee-pee and poo-poo. Okay, enough of this foolishness. On with An American Werewolf in London. This is my favorite of all the werewolf movies out there, as I said before, and there are loads of them. Almost as much as us vampies. Well, almost, but not quite. Good try. Comment down below on what your favorite vampire whore, vampires, I got vampires on my brain, werewolf whore film is. Or be a little poopy pants and don't, I really don't care. This film features two American college-age backpackers, David and Jack, who are hiking through London and happen along the way to run into a werewolf whom kills Jack by ripping him to shreds, mind you, and bites David. The townfolk kill the wolf, but David begins to have hallucinations that he is becoming a wolf, and then he in fact does end up becoming the beast and terrorizing the streets of London. And it's a whole thing, you know. A couple things about this film that made it great and made it different than a lot of werewolf media out there. I thought that the way they showed the transformation of David into the hairy, man-eating creature was absolutely exquisite. They went through every gory detail with a fine-tooth comb and made it seem absolutely horrific and kind of painful to make the transition from man to wolf. They also showed the wolf overpowering and clawing people with loads of gore. Gives you the feeling, kind of, that meeting a werewolf and being torn to shreds would be pretty painful, to say the least, and totally inescapable. They also showed lots of cool hallucinations and dreams that David was having, including a bit with Nazi werewolves. They were kind of shooting up David's, they were shooting up David's family. And really surprising and pretty awesome that they just threw that in there. David also talks to his old friend Jack, who we see as a walking corpse with torn flesh hanging off his bones. Throughout the film, Jack goes through changes as the skin truly begins to rot off his own bones. We see other of these walking dead that were David's former victims when he was the wolf. They urge David to take his life before the next full moon, so he doesn't hurt anyone else. Isn't that nice? Which, of course, David refuses to do. The werewolf itself was definitely more wolf than man. In fact, it looked nothing like a man at all, more like a giant wolf on all fours. It's in my mind the only little tweak I would make to this film, and this is just me personally, but I'd like for my werewolves to stand upright most of the time, on two legs, and give the creatures a little more of a human appearance. That's just my little tweak, and I think this film was pretty darn unbeatable just the way it is. Loads of gore and buckets of blood made it really fun to watch. And if you have watched the film, it's a good time to revisit it. No time like the present. Love the masks and the makeup, by the way. Super cool. Okay, boysies and girlsies, in closing here, I would like to thank you for joining me here on the CD Racoola Show. Thank you so much. And if you could please like, share, and subscribe, at least before the next full moon. So if any of you out there turn into a bloodthirsty beast without opposable thumbs and fingers, you won't be able to use a keyboard. So now is the time to use those human fingers, you know. If you could, and if you would, please join me next episode when I review the film The Black Phone. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But here's my number, and call CD, baby. That's a little Carly Rae Jepsen coming at ya. Oh, you hardcore horror fans may make fun of old Carly, but she has like 1.4 billion views or something on that song, and this review will probably get like 6. But whatever, CD only has 6 fans. He only has 6 fans. The good work must continue. Until next time, my dears, watch out for the full moon. Oh!